Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're also broadcasting live on Rumble, rumble.com. Let me see over there at rumble.com. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. Let's see here. We got our chat going. Big Tib, Big Boy MX. Man, you guys, appreciate you. They're here. We're here. Let's do it. And let's dive right in. Hey, man, this segment brought to you by my friends over there at Dino's. 3 locations, same menu, but, you know, sometimes they go off menu. Don't tell Tim I said that. Matter of fact, I'm heading to Dino's when I get home, actually. Right on the way. Okay, Q. I thought, you know, sometimes you send some pieces that could be satire. I really So when you saw this, did you think this was did you have to pause before you sent this article to me?
The amount of times I go and Google it, even though it's from a legit source, is crazy.
Hey, but at least you fact check it. All right, guys, no one should be shocked by this, but boy, it's kind of this one's something. Chicago Teachers Union. We can go to the next article. Chicago Teachers Union, okay? They walk into a Target store with all these signs. I'm not sure if you saw this on the news or anything, but cameras, a little tood with them, brought a little attitude, demanding that hourly employees explain whether Target would protect them from ICE. Let that sink in. The Chicago Teachers Union inside a Target on a weekday, filming workers who make $12 an hour. It was a political performance staged by a teachers union inside a retail store. Anybody shocked? Nothing about kids. Nothing about saving the kids or education. Well, why would we do that? Why on earth would a teachers union want to talk about kids or education? Well, maybe it's because they're standing in front of a backdrop that they probably don't want you to talk about. Just 43% of Chicago 3rd through 8th graders can read at a grade level or at grade level. 4 out of 5 kids can't do math at grade level. That's 80%, by the way. That is, and not even a talking point. Like, you could see it. Very much a system failure. So kudos to the article relying on and the other outlets that covered it. But that's what your teachers union is doing. So while students can't read, while that's going on, the union is busy harassing these retail workers over federal immigration enforcement and DEI messaging. That tells you exactly where your priorities are. Like I said, ignore people's lips when they're in these positions. Only look at their feet. Maybe 98%. So the union says Target should post signs demanding ICE show warrants before entering. That's legal theater, just everybody. ICE already operates under federal law. Jeez. Target employees are not immigration attorneys. They're not responsible for federal enforcement decisions. They're there to stock shelves and ring up groceries and help us find our things every once in a while. But dragging these guys in a political confrontation in that manner all up in your grill with signs, I mean, that's public intimidation, plain and simple. How is it not? And what's wild is how confident, you notice this? How confident the union is that this is what teachers signed up for. I'm telling you, I talk to educators all the time. And the disconnect between some of them, or most collectively the teachers, and some of these organizations that appear on its face to be fighting for their rights and their causes, there's such a disconnect. if you're paying into a PAC, maybe your teachers union has a political action committee or something that they some political fund, multiple ways to do it. Do you know what? Sometimes you're donating, you don't even know what you're donating to. It could be some political causes that you really don't agree with it. But they do it very confident. I mean, they speak as if every classroom teacher woke up that morning thinking, you know what would really help my students today? Me yelling at a Target cashier. Yeah, that'll move the needle, Susan. They might need to. I was going to say, they might need to drop off a resume because maybe they won't lose their job. I don't know, but Target won't take them now either. I mean, they're kind of not hedging their bets there. Can't be going up in Target and applying. But education groups across the spectrum, as you can imagine, saw it immediately. This is clout chasing. This is activism detached from the results. This is a union that hasn't really, I think it's lost all of its credibility, but has it lost its focus? What is your focus? That's a very similar question we can ask our friends in leadership in the Democrat Party. What's your focus? What are your values? What do you believe in? I mean, in this situation, can't even make this part up. Even the Washington Post, not exactly a conservative outlet, even these guys take a swing at them earlier this month, the old Chicago Teachers Union. And their message was pretty blunt. You can't go around posturing about justice while failing at basic literacy. This is the Washington Post. But here's the deal. Parents see all this. Voters see this. Taxpayers see this. Teachers want to teach. Collectively, teachers want to teach. Teachers are called. Many of them feel called to that. Kids, whether they want to admit it or not, they want to learn. And they want to learn. They're going to learn something, either in the streets or in the classrooms or in sports or something, but they're constantly, really as adults too, don't we seek to learn things? But kids want to learn. It's our duty as the grown-ups to make sure they're learning things that will help them in life and help society. Isn't that why we publicly educate our children or make sure it's a public standard so they help themselves and help society directly and indirectly? Families want schools that work. None of these talking points, by the way, should be owned by a political party. I'm pretty sure everybody wants that. What they're getting instead, though, all of these guys, the kids, the families, the teachers, all they're getting is a political organization that treats the classroom like some kind of afterthought. And the culture war, they treat that like full throttle, like it's a full-time job. I mean, look, when unions spend more energy, filming protests and protest videos than fixing reading scores, the backlash isn't coming from the right, it's coming from reality. Come on, man. All right, stick around. We'll be right back. I can't wait. Woo! Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live on Rumble, man, rumble.com. So, Q Money Magic Man over there, brother. We're talking about all this silliness. So, when you think teachers union, no joke. I mean, I know we follow this, and the folks listening, our wonderful audience, our very learned audience. You know, we might be jaded. You know, we've been covering these teachers unions, but take that knowledge of politics out. Don't you think teachers unions? Don't you think they would want to focus on teachers and kids and education?
To me, that's what their website talks about. I looked, I didn't see anything about immigration.
Do you think that when they do their in service or whatever, you know, the kids get out, but they get their thing instead of doing it in the summer? Don't know why. But anywho, just throwing some ideas out there. Do you think that one of those, like maybe some of that training, like continuing education, is like sign making, like arts and crafts?
I could definitely see that.
You know, like here you go. I wouldn't say Francine. Francine's more for like something else. More like, you know, like Shirley. Come on over here and get the. You got the orange construction paper?
Bring the glitter.
Oh, you gotta have it. You gotta have it. You gotta have a little bling. You know, I've noticed some of these protesters too. You gotta have a little bling in your sign. It's that now it's gonna catch on. So then you got to kind of do the new thing. But yeah, I've noticed the blingers. The glitter guys and gals. They do tend to stand out a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
But I could see that, like, guys, in between 6th hour and 7th hour, remember, we have a convention on Zoom, okay? It's about talking about these signs we're going to make when we go to Target, okay? Like, I could see that, you know, very organized.
Hey, they were being responsible and getting arts and crafts while protesting federal law enforcement.
And they didn't even do it right. They should have done it like NASCAR, man. They could have raised some money and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, brought to you by this. Because there's plenty of folks that was, I mean, but do they have to when you got folks like Deep Pockets that behind the scenes? See, I'm thinking as a Republican where we got to go work and stuff. Y'all know I love my Democrat friends. I really do, man. I feel bad for my friends that are Democrats. I do. Seriously, I got some good friends that are Democrats that are starting to become more independent. Can't get them quite over yet, but, you know, maybe they should stay independent for now. Got some more learning. But, you know, I do feel bad, man, because that is a party that has nothing to what do you stand for right now? What do you stand for? At least the guy leading our party stands for something. We'll see after the aftermath. We'll see when Big Daddy's gone. I want to see what happens after the midterms, man. That because he's a lame duck after that. Like if Thune can't control his crowd now, what makes you think he's going to be able to control the upper chamber? Why even have a majority?
At this point, I don't even know.
Why even have one? We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. You know, and if I hear minibus one more, I didn't like, you know what I didn't like hearing? Omnibus. So what makes you think we want to hear minibus? How about budget?
Individually, each one.
There's a thought. You know who knows that? Every business owner right now is like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I got that. I got a big, beautiful bill but it doesn't have any debt to it. If it does, I have to have a payment plan because it's crazy. I can't just take it. The people I take it from, they actually want it back. And they make me pay the interest too. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful system. Anyway, can we go to my boy Clay? Is it time? Yes.
It is.
All right. Hey, guys, look, man, I talk about SeaSafe all the time, SEA just like the ocean. But I got my boy Clay coming in from SeaSafe, and he can tell us, because I say FRP products. What the heck is that? You know, what? You know, Clay, you get that all the time. But I'm seeing some of these projects. Man, talk to the folks, man.
Well, first, thanks for having me on. Is it all right?
Good.
You good?
Yeah, you got to get up all in it. There you go.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. First of all, FRP stands for fiberglass reinforced plastics. A lot of people have no clue of what that is or where it's used, but you know, everybody knows what plastic is. Fiberglass reinforced plastics is a thermoset plastics, whereas plastics, let's say a regular plastic cup that is recyclable or something like that, that is a thermoplastic. We're thermoset plastics, and what we do with that is we manufacture it by way of pultrusion, so pultrusion process, and the pultrusion process it's where you actually take glass rovings and pull them through a heated die, and it comes out the shape of your die. So the resin is injected. There's a heat-sensitive catalyst package inside that resin package, and it comes out a finished part. So it's kind of like an extrusion. A lot of people are familiar with extrusions, where you take a block of steel or something like that, and you push it through a die, and it comes out that finished shape. This is a pultrusion. We did not make up the word. It is a real word. And a lot of people think we do. We have made it up, but no, it's been around for quite some time.
My grandmother would make ground beef with something doing that. I'm joking, but it's one of those country things. You know, I'm talking about the grind. Isn't that like that?
That's grind meat, as they call it.
I was trying to. It is grind meat. I was trying to find the word the other day, but I couldn't even. But no, you know what I'm talking about? The old school and like you put it on the table and you
or
turn
the old
it.
Play-Doh deal where they.
Thank you.
Yeah, you push it through and it comes out a star or.
I learned a lot from. I
else.
actually passed the LSAT to go to law school by playing with Play-Doh and the shapes on the logic. I'm joking. God, my jokes are horrible today. They're the worst.
No,
I'm totally my ratings just went like 30% down on them horrible jokes. Go ahead.
No, well, what we make is it's the same as some traditional building products like you see in structural steel or aluminum, stainless steel, or just regular old carbon steel. Angles, channels, wide flanges, square tubes, round tubes, that type stuff. We make those same structural shapes, and we make structures with them. We can make platforms, walkways, access platforms, where there is a super corrosion or a corrosive environment there, where corrosion is a strong aspect of where you're building. A lot of people build with these traditional products, and they're replacing them over and over. You know, they might buy a new piece of walkway grading, serrated bar grading, and in a year and a half they might be replacing that thing. So you do it once with us, and you don't have to do it again. It's got to be the right application. It's not the perfect thing for every application, but it is the perfect thing for these applications where corrosion resistance and or non-conductive properties are needed. There's just really not much that we can't do. The walkway gradings were.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm looking. Maybe we can show. Here we go. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, look at all this stuff. I mean, this is pretty impressive on what you can build. And we talk about offshore platforms and things like that. That's pretty impressive. Hey, real quick, we got about maybe 15, 20, 30 seconds left. Talk to us about, give us some projects maybe people will identify.
Well, absolutely. A lot of people will say, what do you do? I mean, hell, my family sometimes doesn't even know what I do. But, people think back and look at the, Bellagio Casino fountain, the whole substructure underneath there.
Yeah.
There's a show on TV about the aquarium, Georgia Aquarium. We did that project, and all of the behind the scenes for the life support systems. We did all the ladders and safety cages and platforms to access all of these life support systems for all the animals in the aquariums. We do regular mundane stuff, like you said, offshore oil and gas, petrochem, that type stuff. But I like the cool projects. The cool projects are few and far between sometimes, but the meat and potatoes of what we do is just regular, good old-fashioned, walkways and platforms and that type stuff.
Man, look, you guys hear me talk about it all the time. I thought it was important to bring my buddy Clay in. You know, when I say shout out to my buddy Clay, well, this is Clay, all right? But I'll tell you this. I know when I call, you guys answer. I see when the feedback from other folks you guys interact with, and it seems like customer service is kind of natural, but y'all are an American company. Y'all are right in our backyard in Acadiana. We know hospitality. We know if we say we're going to do something, doggone, we're going to probably do it. No, we're going to do it, okay?
For almost 47 years.
Exactly. Right here in America, right here in Acadiana by American Workers, csafe.com, man. Check them out. Guys, when we get back, we're going to talk about something else. Well, actually, the phone line is going to be wide open, so we're going to make this break quicker if we can. And, Make Elections Great Again Act. Oh, goodness, what is that all about? Let's talk about it. Some people might be losing their minds on the far, far, far scope of the left. Let's see here. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Also broadcasting live on Rumble, man, the mothership. Joe Biden's lost memory. He's back. Kill switch, Big Tib, Jenny. What's up, Jenny? 7788. Dirty Rice. Yeah. What's up, brother? I got you. Big Boy MX, Big Tib, all my peeps, all my peeps. Where's Big Chris at? He needs to call in. Where you at, Big Chris? Send out SOS. All right, guys. Let's see here. 232-1542, 232-1542, 844-766-6607. Give us a call. I can't wait to hear from you. Let's go to the phone lines. Renee. What's up, Renee?
Yeah, I want to talk about them hippies again. You know, if these certain areas in America want to be a satellite of a Soviet Union that's dead and buried on the history station, we need to defund them from federal money. Defund California grad. Defund Virginia grad. Defund New York grad.
All right. I'm with you. I got you. Well, I'm following, I think. What do you mean grad?
Well, I gave them a Russian name. They won't be communists instead of California grad. It's the you know what I mean. Just tag on that little word to make them more Russian like they want to be. Maybe I should add a Chinese last name for locality. So since China's taking over the espionage infrastructure in America.
Hey, I tell you what, that's been going on for a hot minute, huh, Renee? No, I appreciate you, brother. All right, look, good call as always, man. I appreciate that. And I do appreciate the consistent callers. Yeah, all right. So let's see here. So House Republicans just rolled out the Make Elections Great Again Act. All right here. So now before, I do have to give a little disclosure here now, you know. Before anyone hyperventilates on the far left, let's talk, because, you know, you say make something great and they get kind of nervous a little bit. Y'all know what I'm saying? So, Make Elections Great Again Act. Let's talk about what it actually says before we panic. I like it. Photo ID to vote. Proof of citizenship to register. Clean voter rolls. Paper ballots that you can audit. Mail ballots counted by Election Day. No ballot harvesting operations run like Uber Eats for ballots. That's how they should have worded it too. Like, we're talking about Uber Eats for ballots. That's the bill. Nothing crazy. I'll rattle it off again. Photo ID to vote. I know that hurts the dead population, but I get it. Proof of citizenship to register. What is wrong with that? I'm just asking. Can I go to Canada and vote? Can I go to Mexico and vote?
I don't think so.
I probably won't be able to vote, but somehow these guys and gals, they just think this is a good idea. It's hard to understand. So photo ID to vote, proof of citizenship to register to vote, clean the voter rolls. Why that's not urgent to everybody, I don't understand either. Paper ballots that you can audit, none of the silly stuff. And then this one right here, this shouldn't even be debatable. Mail ballots counted by Election Day. Why is that even debated? No ballot harvesting operations. Good. The act probably has like restrictive language in it, saying you can't do it, but they're targeting harvesting operations. We do have to understand that they have lawyers on all sides that probably can find a way to try their best to manipulate the situation, but these measures would help. And I don't think it's radical. I don't think most Americans think that's radical. I would think if everybody took the time to just look a little bit around the world, turns out this is how most normal countries already run elections. So don't know why we have the little clutching episodes, the little finger pointing, wagging. Voting's that's a concept that is very, very new to humanity. You look at the history of humans and governments. It is a solemn right. And it is true, at least in our country, I would say in any system where it's a true vote, it's also a civic responsibility. And those two things do coexist. They coexist. So the bill also shuts down, look at this. This bill would also shut down federal agencies, look at this, using taxpayer money to register votes. That is a big deal. Elections are run by states. Why are federal agencies doing that? I mean, we have to understand something. When we have these situations, and once we recognize that there is a constitution, we do have to make a choice. We're either going to follow it or we're not, because there's only 4 sources of American law, American sources of law, and the top one is a constitutional law. So if we have a constitution and we have a 10th Amendment, and these things are, and there's other things, other parts of the Constitution that apply here, of course. But we're either going to go with it or not, okay? So I do think it's important for us to pause when we have these situations. That's why I say we mustn't rush to invite the federal government to activate National Guard troops to fight crime unless it's needed. And I'm talking absolute last case scenario. What you're seeing in Minnesota, I think that would qualify. I mean, I guess he has enough ICE agents. But, what you saw in L.A., very limited. You had a local mayor, a governor that refused to help American citizens right in front of the world to see. That's a little different. Now, you fast forward to a Republican state that supposedly wants to fight crime. Why would you give more power to the federal government when you don't have to? I mean, you could take pictures, you know what I'm saying, and just pretend that you did something, and that way you don't hurt us. That's what I say. I mean, can we make a fake legislative session or a fake congressional session and just pretend that everybody's in session? Like, you guys would help us. Like, all this government shutdown stuff, we're going to have a pretend session for a year, and we're going to see. We're going to see how much it's really shut down, number one. Then we're going to see after 12 months how much we don't notice. And I think at the end of the 12-month period, we can say, this part we didn't notice, this part we kept doing, oh, this part was painful. We need to figure this out. But it would happen. It would be a painful process, but that is one way. I don't like to go to a situation with a problem without a recommended solution. So, ask and you shall receive. Is this Chris or Big Chris?
I believe it's Chris.
Chris, what's happening, Chris?
This is Big Chris.
Big Chris, in the hizzy. You saw the bat signal. You heard the cry. What's up, Big Chris?
Well, I heard I was called out.
Oh, no. I said, where's Big Chris? I need Big Chris.
Oh,
no.
Well,
no. Call you out. We're on the same team. We sing in the same choir, baby.
No. You didn't call me out. A friend of mine called me out and said, where you are? They calling for you on the radio. So I said, okay, well, let me get a call. and I'm assuming the conversation is about voting and voter ID and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, Congress just passed a bill here, or House Republicans are pushing a bill. Passed it. Make Elections Great Again Act. And look at this, Big Chris. Watch this. Nobody's head should explode. Voter ID to photo ID to vote. Proof of citizenship to register. Clean the voter rolls. Paper ballots you can audit. Make ballots counted by mail-in ballots counted by election day. And no ballot harvesting operations. Big Chris, stay on hold a little bit. We're going to talk about that when we get back. Can you do that?
Good deal.
All right, buddy. Hang tight. I had to fill my TikTok folks in, you know? What's happening? See, that's the angle that I was telling you to fix that one. You see it? Look on the screen. What's up, Rumbo? Look on the board cam too. Oh, is that? Oh, that's what you want it like that. Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Hey, behind the scenes. My bad. Hey, look, we came. So we're in break, everybody. But really, is it a break? Let's just keep talking. Let's keep hanging out. And so this is exclusive TikTok, Rumble, all this stuff. But we were talking about in the break. Like I said, I can't. I still can't get over the teachers union story that we covered. And but the voter thing, that's a big. We're going to come back to that. And I rounded off for Big Chris. He's always a good call when he calls in. But I'm looking at this Rumble chat too, man. That's what you guys are cracking me up, man. Very good to see you on there. All of you. All of my peeps. All right, but yeah, so we're going to talk about that. But, man, these teachers' unions, I get it. You know, I'm not anti. I'm really, if people want to form an organization to advocate for whatever it is you feel like you need to advocate for, man, peacefully assemble. It's all good. But I don't think this is a win for the Chicago Teachers Union. I think this is very classless. I think that you know, whether these teachers, I'm assuming they're teachers in the teachers union or whoever they are, you know, whether they like it or not, they are role models, good or bad. And that's not what we saw was not necessarily good. And how are we teaching them to disagree? How are we teaching the children to disagree? We're teaching them to go and disturb people's peace, because that's what they did. And they really should be cited. If this was Louisiana law, or Massachusetts, the only two states I'm licensed in. Believe it or not. Had never had a case, though, yet in Massachusetts. I keep telling. We visited one time, Jamie and I, and I was so moved by the museums in Salem, Massachusetts, and I was so motivated about why we have a Constitution. If you ever want to know why, part of it, especially the Bill of Rights, go look at those museums in Salem on the witch trials and things like that. So I said, hey, I might want to come visit, you know, and when I do, maybe I'll practice some family law or adoption or something over here. And I just keep hang on it, you know, you never know. Never know. So, all right, I'm getting the cue from Q. That means I gotta zip it up. All right, guys, we'll be right back. We're gonna go back to that whole make elections great again, Bill. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from the KPEL Studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. This segment brought to you by my boy over there, Keith Kishbaugh. Appreciate you, man. Proud American patriot over there. Kishbaugh Construction, man. I know him personally. Seen their work. Go check them out. Kishbaugh Construction. My boy Kish. All right, here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, let's go back to Big Chris. He's going to break it down, man. We're talking about the Make Elections Great Again Act. You maybe the title we could talk about, but the actual act, all the stuff I rattled off: photo ID to vote, proof of citizenship to register. You got to clean the voter rolls. You have to have ballots that are paper ballots that you can actually audit. You got to have all the mail-in ballots counted by Election Day, and there's prohibitions against ballot harvesting operations. Big Chris, what's up with this, man? You like this, huh? I love it.
That's good, and better.
Yay!
Look, I to coach Little League baseball. This still 8, 9-year-old, 10-year-olds. I had to have proof of birth from them. Okay, playing baseball. I owned a liquor store. I had to see a photo ID before I could serve liquor. Now, the most important thing you would need your birth certificate for, I would think, is for voting. It's the most honorable thing to do in this country. And I believe that you should go vote in person. That's because it's an honorable thing. And if you don't want to go vote in person, well, good. Then your vote don't count. It's up to you. Now, mail-in voting, if you're out of state, on work, or if you're in the military, fine. Absentee voting, yes, fine. But you went absentee voting, you go ahead in person and vote, basically. Now, the mail-in, like I said, if you're out of town on work, because people work in all fields, sometimes they go on a month at a time, or the military, I understand it. That should be the only reason, or if you're infirmed. But you have to ask for that ballot. Don't mail it to them, and don't go harvest. That's just asking for corruption.
Hey, Big Chris, exactly. You were nailing it. Man, I think most Americans, I really do, Big Chris, and dear audience, I think most Americans agree with us on this. I mean, everything you just said. We all got friends that are Democrats. They might be confused. They identify the wrong way. But if you rattled that off to them, they wouldn't, none of them would, most of them wouldn't have a problem with that.
And Josh, everybody has an ID. I don't care what they say to Democrats. Everybody has an ID.
Yep. And if you need one, you just go on to California. I got 4 of them.
Yes.
All right. So there might be some, I don't have 4, but there might be some truth that you can just roll up in. I mean, I need one for this county. I need one for this county. Hola. All right, let's see here. But that's the bill, guys. It's nothing. There's nothing radical about it. I think it's very commonsensical. And we're kind of picking on the title, "Make Elections Great Again" Act. I get it. I just want to see how many people in Washington are going to be kissing up to Trump after the midterm elections. I just don't know. And maybe there's some sensitive homage here, or sensitive. Maybe there's some sincere homage being paid here. I don't know. I love the bill, though, so I'm going to stay on the positive. I think this is long overdue. I'm assuming this is for federal elections. And no one should have a problem with this. It's a federal election. The federal government is saying, at least the House Republicans, remember we have the Democrat leadership in the Senate. We don't have the Senate. You can say we have the Senate all you want. A Senate leader with 4 extra seats that insists that we can only negotiate if the White House works with the Democrats, that ain't a leader, and that ain't a majority. And I really think that we should pay attention here. And, man, if you've been following me, I don't call for this kind of stuff. I really don't. I think stability, a lot of times you're better off with just making the situation the best you can until the next time and get them out. But I don't think that way on this one. I think the Senate needs to act. I think you need to get a leader in there. Or you need to be bowing up, all right, and be the upper chamber that you are and say, we ain't doing it. All right, we don't like this about the MAGA plan. We don't want to balance the budget. We don't want to introduce Joni Ernst, whatever it was, $2.1 trillion, but we're cool with her egg labeling bill. That's fine. That can go through. But, just be honest. Just say, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to use budget reconciliation, even though that's how Obamacare was passed. Even though Scott Brown was elected exactly for one reason. The one Republican, I think from Massachusetts at the time, won that election for one reason, to block the filibuster, to block it. That's on Obamacare. And Nancy Pelosi, being the leader that she is, said, I got this. There's this thing called budget reconciliation. And they passed it. So we can do so many great things right now. We choose not to. And that's what's frustrating. But I love this bill, and I want to give credit where credit's due. I think this is long overdue. I really do. I think the House Republicans nailed it on this, and they didn't go crazy. They nailed the provisions I just rattled off. That's 80-20 easy. That's 80% of Americans agreeing, in my opinion. Let's get past the jaded talking points. I mean, once they know the reality. And people are busy, and all we can do is read the headlines and of course, watch the Josh Guillory Show podcast rerun, of course, That's what I do. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Man, this hour flew by, Q-Dog. All right, guys, stick around, man. Hour number 2 right around the corner. We have so much to pack in just one little hour. We'll be right back. What's up, my people on the Rumbles? All right, Kill Switch. Let's see here, man. Jamie, he's doing good, man. I talk to him all the time. He's good. He is good. Let's see here. Well, thank you, Kill Switch. I appreciate that. Let's see. Big Chris. Yeah. Big Chris needs to have that, like, trademarked, you know? Appreciate you guys. Dirty Rice cracking me up, man. Yeah, get that vaccine ready. Q-Dog. Talk to the fine folks, man. You want some water or coffee?
I'm good. How are we doing this beautiful January day? Not too cold, not too hot. Better than an employee at a Target in Chicago, for sure. Can you imagine that? You're sitting there at work, stocking shelves, and out of nowhere, you end up with a large group of protesters demanding what you're going to do to protect them from ICE, and your job is to stock the shelves at Target. And I'm not by any means denigrating a job. No, I'm denigrating the idea that you're gonna approach people you know can't change the policy that you want changed, regardless of whether or not it's a smart change or not. We can set that aside for a second, but let's consider the fact that they know these people cannot make the changes that they want. And yet they're going to go into this place and harass them. So is it about getting the changes they want, or is it about maybe getting press headlines and getting attention? Look at me. Look at what I did. When in reality, it doesn't make an impact at all, except on that person's day and on the days of the shoppers whose experience have been negatively impacted. It's just truly mind-blowing that that's a thing right now. If you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would have laughed. But here we are. And then they had signs? They walked in with signs? That's crazy. Student performance, 43% of Chicago 3rd and 8th graders reading at a grade level below grade level. I'm sorry, the 43% were the people who could read at grade level. So a majority of Chicago 3rd to 8th graders cannot read at grade level. The teachers union is focused on whether or not the target employee of one store can impact their global policy. It's ridiculous. On the plus side, there's headway on making elections secure again. Not so much on the name, but requiring a photo ID and citizenship verification to register to vote doesn't seem like a bridge too far by any means. Having strict rules on when ballots are received doesn't seem like a bad thing, and having an auditable paper trail definitely doesn't seem like a bad thing. You know, I mean, if we're going to have an electronic voting machine, there should be something that can be audited after an election that operates outside of a computer, where a human being can actually verify that this is an outcome. But we'll be back in about 4 minutes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our number 2 of the Josh Guillory Show. I remain your very grateful host, and in studio with me still, Q Money Magic Man. What's up, Q?
Oh, just enjoying this beautiful day.
It is, man. All right, so Katie Ann, I don't think we have freezing temperatures tonight. I don't think so. Do you know?
First night, I think, in a week that we're not going to have a freeze.
Wow. It's getting cold. Always gumbo weather, though. That's why I go to Prejean's, get my little gumbo. All right, now, so we're talking about the Make Elections Great Again Act. It passed the House. They rolled it out, sorry. The House Republicans rolled it out. Got some folks kind of losing their mind on the far left for no reason. All it says is you need a photo ID to vote. You need proof of citizenship to actually register to vote. Clean the voter rolls. Paper ballots you can audit. All the stuff. You mail in a ballot, it has to be counted before or by Election Day. And it has some legislation on ballot harvesting and penalties for it. So that's the bill. None of it's extreme. Most of it, like I said earlier, this is how most normal countries run elections anyway. So the bill, what really gets it some teeth is the bill really has, it shuts down federal agencies using taxpayer money to actually register votes, kind of like its own political arm. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal. But mail-in voting stays available, but voters have to request a ballot. None of this automatically sending the ballots out, targeting and all this stuff. That's common sense. Ranked choice voting is out for federal elections. Did they even have that? I guess in some districts maybe they did. I don't know. Now that I think about it. But yeah, so for federal elections, this bill would cancel out that ranked choice. and I think that makes sense. I mean, elections should produce winners, not algebra problems, geometry. Every one of these provisions actually polls well, and not just with Republicans, with Americans. You know what keeps coming up every single time you see these polls? And it's confidence. People want to believe that the system is fair. Not perfect, but fair. And I would say here is a sad but a quiet truth. A sad one, but a quiet truth. When elections drag on for weeks, when ballots start showing up late, when rules change on the fly, confidence does drop. I mean, it doesn't help democracy when those things happen. It weakens it. And in our lifetime, we've seen it. And we've seen it several times. At least 2 times in my lifetime. And that's interesting. Maybe argue 3. But this bill sets clear rules for voting. Cool. Same kind of rules Americans already follow when they cash a check. Oh, how about this? Board a plane. Who is it? Big Chris. Buy alcohol. How about this one? Show up to jury duty. Just roll up there willy-nilly. No ID. Hey, it might be a thing. But if we believe elections matter, well, then the process matters. And it's past the talking points. If we want people to accept outcomes, think about it. We have to trust the system collectively that produced them. And I believe that this bill does that. It restores or attempts to restore something that should never feel chaotic in the first place. An election should never feel like that. Now, I think the real debate comes in, the real question comes in. Let's say it passes the House. I don't know the procedural posture if it passed the House or not. I know the House Republicans rolled it out, so I don't know the status of that. It should pass. What happens when it gets to the Senate? Is the Republican or is the Senate? Is it the Senate leader that identifies as Republican, who has the majority? Is he going to do? Is he going to do what we talked about yesterday? and send the Senate Democrats to go negotiate with the White House on this bill? Because that is very, very, that's a head scratcher. We never saw Nancy Pelosi send the Republicans. Could you imagine that? That would have, it's not even you can't even imagine it.
That's going to be a 2030 thing.
Yeah. Man. Oh, my goodness. But that is so amazing that we even have to question this. And, I mean, what is it with these? What is it? Is it ego? Is it like I want to be president, but I can't? So I'm going to stop him?
It has to be.
I mean, what else could it be? What else? It has to be ego. And that's supposed to be the cool chamber. It's supposed to be the chamber where calmer heads prevail. But that doesn't mean you lose common sense. You can have calmer heads and common sense. You can very coolly, is that a word? Yeah, we got coolies. In a cool manner. Calm, cool, collective. You can have common sense too. And I think this bill is common sense. Common sense. It restores order at minimum. And restores uniformity. It's one election. These are federal elections. We'll see though. Still, you got to balance. It's still governed by the states. It's a balance, and maybe there are some things in the act that maybe that does need to be tweaked in that regard. I'm giving you the highlights. But the meat and potatoes, hey man, I like that. I like this meat and potato dish. Yeah, this is what Americans. Yeah, the Republicans have been calling for it, but these are things that Americans as a whole. It's not political. That's common sense. Let's switch gears here. Q, ACA enrollment dropped. Doggone. Can you imagine that? So the ACA enrollment dropped by more than 1 million people after enhanced subsidies expired. We've been talking about those. That's the COVID subsidies that were created during COVID, like so many other mythological creatures. Not that COVID was fake, but I'm just saying it was crazy. All right. But anywho, we saw this coming. This is not a shock, but let's kind of talk about what it means, and because everybody wants to blame people that probably don't need the blame right now. And if we really look at the situation with healthcare, it really does come back to the very fundamental issue that is of the primary issue, and that is we're asking the wrong question. We keep asking who is going to pay for all this healthcare cost. And instead, we don't ask, why does it cost so much again? I'm just asking. Asking for a friend. All right, man. Stick around, guys. We will be right back. We're going to talk about this ACA stuff, though, because it's interesting what it unveils. So stick around. We'll be right back.
What's up, my Rumble peeps? So going back to the Make Elections Great Again Act. How do you think they came up with the naming convention? Do you think they looked at their hat or their computer screen? Like I'm looking at it again, and it irritates me every time I see it. You have exceptional legislation that's all surrounded by this. It doesn't even sound right if you say it out loud. Mega? Like,
I don't say, isn't that mega?
yeah. The,
I love the bill, though.
it's the Mega Act.
The mega act, man. I love the bill. It's just, I'm with you, man.
I can't get past the now every single bill has to have a headline grabbing name, which to me that takes away from the whole point of having legislation, especially model legislation that should be passed probably in states across the country. But I don't think New York will pass the mega bill. I don't think Minnesota is going to pass the mega bill. And frankly, most of the South and conservative states already have this legislation. So the objective, one, pass it at the federal level, but you also need state action. And I think giving it a name like this takes away any chance of any state doing anything with it outside of Republican-held states as they are. Now the flip side to it is those other states probably weren't going to pass it anyway. So maybe the name doesn't matter as much. But regardless, stop using headline grabbing names just to do it. There should be specific times where it's party wide or plank level policy. If then, name bills for what they are. Name bills for what they're going to do. But don't name bills so that you can make a name for yourself. AC enrollment is down after the subsidies expire? Well, of course. But that's okay because we're going to repeal and replace it. Just kidding. How long have we heard that? Instead of spending time creating these elaborate names for bills, let's actually do what we say we're going to do. Well, guys, we got about 30 seconds left in this break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. This segment brought to you by my friends over there at Stan's Auto. Man, they do everything. And if they don't, they'll find it for you. That's what I like about them. And, you know, I always love good customer service, and we're very blessed. The sponsors that we have, you know, natural fit. Like a glove. So thanks, Stan's Auto. Appreciate you guys, Sterling and crew. 2 locations, by the way. One obviously by Ducey, off of Ducey Road, off of Johnson, right by the Grand Theater in Lafayette, and then right in New Iberia, Admiral Doyle. All right, guys, let's stay on this a little bit. The ACA. So the Affordable Care Act, we knew that the subsidies that were created during COVID were expiring December 31st of last year. I thought the pushback in October, or the concern in October, and calling Republicans out for not having a solution was very valid. I was one saying it like, hey, we're in charge. We really need to. You can't say it's a money thing. Just cut spending. Because you have to make a choice. Either the programs or the Americans. Which one? And I know the programs you can argue is for the Americans, but only the partners get paid. Like no federal program should ever. No federal social program should be so eager to be welcomed. You know, it's just saying. Do we need to talk about Minnesota? Do you want to go into what fraud can look like? But anywho, the ACA, these subsidies, well, they expired and you know, premiums jumped. People walked away from coverage. That's what happened. More than 1 million people, by the way, since these enhanced subsidies expired, it's less than a month. But premiums, as you imagine, they go up when that happens. You take the subsidy away. But let's talk about that, because this tells us something. All of this, what I just said, tells us something important about how this system actually works. Enrollment fell because premiums jumped and people couldn't afford the coverage anymore. That's what happened. Those pandemic era subsidies, listen to me now. Those pandemic era subsidies, they masked the true cost of the system. They did not fix anything. They hid it. When the subsidies ended, the bills started to show up, and millions of people did the math. Advocacy groups are calling this a crisis. Democrats are pushing to extend the subsidies again. Oh, they'll find more. They'll find there's a few Senate Republicans they can get. Healthcare executives are warning the marketplace could unravel. What market? A market is a place where buyers and sellers voluntarily come to meet. Now, where on earth is the voluntariness in this? I know CEO healthcare executives, y'all need it. I get it's part of I ain't mad at you. You just gaming the system legally. I get it. And it's legal because there's no law prohibiting it. Doesn't make it right. But warning the market, there's no marketplace. If you wanted a marketplace, tear down that wall. Tear down those border walls, man. Not the border wall on the southern border. I'm talking about the insurance walls. Why does each state have to why can't I get Blue Cross Blue Shield Virginia if I want it? We have a privileges and immunities clause of the 14th Amendment that says that we can do these kind of things across state line unless it's very extringent circumstances, as the case law tells us. So, anywho, I don't know why that argument's not made. I got to look that up. Someone had to have made that argument. You would think. There's no crisis here. Here's the deal. If a system only works when it's flooded with federal cash, I'm going to use a liberal term, it's not sustainable. I'm meeting them where they're at, man. Sustainability, It's not sustainable. It's subsidized dependency. What business owners are out there in the marketplace, healthcare execs? Where do y'all, are y'all getting subsidies? I'm not. Premiums spiked because the ACA depends on subsidies to mask all of these high costs. They use these subsidies to limit competition. They use them to weaken consumer choice. This is exposing a lot. I want us to really, really take away some things here, because folks are rational. Collectively, people are rational. We're very pragmatic. I mean, think about this. Just let this sit in. When insurance costs more than rent or groceries, Joe Public's opting out. There ain't no ideology there. That is straight up survival. Washington's answer, though, it's always the same. More subsidies, more spending, more little Band-Aids, more little patches. They would give the Girl Scouts competition. Do they still do patches? How about this? Balance the budget patch. Don't send money to study transgender men menstrual cycles in North Africa. That's a patch. John Thune has a patch. Losing leadership patch. He shouldn't. You've been with me for a little bit now. I've never called for any of this stuff, any of these guys to be removed. It's usually more harm than good. This gentleman does need to be just a senator, and maybe even a former senator, because, wow, man, you got the majority, and we're running out of time. We got like 10 months left, because all the rhinos are coming out after, you're going to see a massive wave because Trump's the only Trump. And you're going to see all these Republicans trying to be like Trump, naming it the Make America something again or energy or whatever it is. They'll do a MAGA playoff, you know? But there's only one Trump. And all you can now, two gentlemen that seem to get this, and I mean get it. J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, because they know they're running for president. So they are, but I give them credit for this because this is the only, because they would continue Trump's policies, but in their own style, and they wouldn't try to ride. They'll ride his coattails, of course, and they should. They should. Very good coattails to ride. Good accomplishments so far, and they've helped. But in their own right. Now we'll see though. Time will tell. We'll see what the polls say. Let's see what the polls. I don't know. We'll see here. But Washington's answer. I don't care who's in charge, man. More Band-Aids. And they're so scared to fix this problem. Do they have pictures like with them with like, you know, compromising situations or something like this is, or do they, what really motivates these congressmen from not doing this? Like what motivates John Thune to say the Democrats have to go negotiate with the White House when he's in charge of the Senate? He's leading the Senate with a Republican majority. Like, what makes these people, what what motivates you? Are you going to lose money? Or is your partner's going to, just tell us. I mean, if it's not illegal, tell us. If it's not unethical anymore, just tell us what motivates you to do this. Like, you're not even giving us a reason why you're flipping us the bird. You're not even telling us hey, you know what? Say what you want about, like I said, those, you know, your good old liberal. Like I'm talking about the tree huggers. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I love these people, man. I'm serious. They just want to, you know, what happened to that person? Just chain yourself to a tree, you know? I got you. You're making a point. Those guys don't even vote anyway. They just, you know, just want peace and love, man. I got you. But now, golly, but at least those guys had a point. You know, I'm chaining myself to this tree or this bulldozer because I don't want this road to go through. Got it. Now, we're building the road. Get your little happy rear end out of the way. But at least I can say this is a person with principle and tells us why they're doing silly things like this. I don't understand why any Republican would act and not, or wouldn't act. Like, what's the worst that can happen if we balance the budget? Like really think about that. These are the same people that said we couldn't handle Epstein. These are the same people that said we couldn't handle COVID. These are the same people that told us a whole bunch of things. Anywho, all right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back. Phone lines are wide open. We get back. What's up, our Rumble, YouTube, X, all the streaming platforms? Hello. We appreciate you guys. Oh, TikTok, man. What's up, TikTok? Hey, man, I'm liking this TikTok stuff. We appreciate you, too. Very raw, as you can see. I say hi and all this stuff. All right, we're going to move on to the government shutdown or whatever this silly thing is. Man, what do y'all think about all this? You know, this is a great segue. I didn't even realize we're going there. But think about this. What's the worst case? Like, if we balance the budget, what's the worst that will happen?
We get a credit upgrade.
You know, like, okay, so you may think, all right, well, some federal employees will lose their job. Fair argument. It would be worth giving them full retirement. I'll give them full retirement if we can shrink the government. because you will pay less in the long run.
Yep.
Or create an equivalent vested program where, all right, we're going to give you a good severance package. Trump tried to do this, so you'd have to do it by legislation. Trump tried, okay? But this one, it got kicked out by the courts. So you need legislation. That's okay. That's the process. Hey, I don't blame Trump for that because the law was silent and he felt like he needed to act, and I think he did too. And where the law is silent, the president has what's called inherent authority. So as long as it's necessary and proper to carry out the laws of the United States. And there's some more to it, but it's not that difficult if you think about it. So anyway, where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought. You weren't paying attention?
I was. So, yeah. I just went completely blank.
8. Yeah. Question 8. Just know lots of truth to your comment just now. Lots of truth there. Yeah, and even that one too. I hate political slogans because the one before the one I just gave you props on. Yeah, political slogans because the Affordable Care Act was not affordable. You ain't kidding. It wasn't. I don't know how anybody could say it, man. My wife and I, our business, my law firm, which she owns it in community. So, dude, like we were paying health insurance before Obamacare, and when Obamacare went through, man, and we're small. We're bigger now, but we were so small. And I remember that hitting us even harder because we're like, man, we're already out here swinging, And and then when you start adding people on, it's like, golly, man.
It seems like every time I look at it, if I look at family options, all of a sudden your max out of pocket goes 4, 5, 6 times up, even if it's like 2 people.
It's and the effect it had on the private sector, which none of these are private. We do not. We have universal health care, whether you like it or not. Someone's making a decision on what your treatment is. It's either a bureaucrat in the corporation or it's a bureaucrat in the government. We just got to decide which one do we not trust the least. I'm not being wrong. It's true. A formulary issue, okay? Formulary, how are you going to pay for your prescriptions and things like that? And who pays for it, and who's covered. And none of the prices are what they say they are, and it's just so silly. It's real. I wish I had more time on that. All right, stick around. We got about 30 seconds. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show. We are broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're also broadcasting internationally from the mothership, rumble.com. Yeah, I'm going there. And it ain't wrong. Look up the Josh Guillory Show. We appreciate you. Hey, guys, C-Safe, man. When strength matters, when custom matters, when failure's not an option, you know who delivers. C-Safe. C-Safe FRP products. We learned about those last hour. They're engineered to resist corrosion over there from C-Safe. They reduce maintenance. They outlast the competition in the harshest environments. You know them. Offshore platforms, wastewater treatment plants, a whole bunch of other stuff. C-Safe. Their products are American-made. They're manufactured right here in Acadiana by American workers. C-Safe. Check them out. csafe.com. S-E-A. Just like the ocean. All right, guys, let's see here. Let's go to the shutdown. Yeah. Shutdown chaos, Washington dysfunction, Republican majority acting like a minority. Washington, it's doing that thing again. You know, shutdown threats, finger pointing, procedural games, and somehow even with Republican majorities. We're still acting like we're renting the building instead of owning it. Here's what actually happened. Democrats decided they would block a major funding package. We've talked about this unless Homeland Security funding was stripped out. Yesterday we talked about the 6-bill package. You can look it up on rumble.com if you want to go look at it. But the Democrats offer no trimming or debate the issue. That would be, grown-up like. They just yank it. DHS, all of it. Immigration enforcement. Why don't you change, if you don't want to enforce it, change the law. But that's kind of confusing. You're telling the president, you're telling the executive branch to enforce something, but you're not funding it. What other function of government do you do that to? So just if you have the votes to go and get to amend the immigration statutes, well, go do it. I just say, why don't we try enforcing them? That's all the president's doing. He ain't doing nothing rocket science like. But that's their recommended solution. Just cut ICE. Cut Homeland Security. Wow. That was the line. And instead of saying, now look, let's go. We're going to hold our hands together. We're going to get through this, guys. Instead of saying no, like we're not taking out DHS funding. What is wrong with you? Instead of saying no, seven Republican senators joined the Democrats and tanked the whole thing. Did anybody know that? Man, that is not leverage. They might as well get a surrender flag and just dress it up as process. Man, it's just a process. You got to trust the process. You don't even know the process, apparently. Not the process the other side's playing. And Nancy Pelosi it wasn't unlawful for her to do it. She just woke up one day and said, man, I'm tired of playing around. Turns out we got the majority in both chambers, and I think President Obama is going to actually sign this, Affordable Care Act if we send it to him. I can count. 51 is more than 49, okay, or whatever, 51 more than 50, okay, got that. I know what majority means, okay, so 435, whatever, one more of half of that is, okay, and then one person in the executive branch, yeah. So she realized, majority rules in a democracy. Let's just go ahead and use budget reconciliation, no big deal. But not us, not Senator Thune. Oh, no, send the Democrats over. 7 Republicans joined the Democrats to block funding to the Department of Homeland Security. If we said that on October 15, 2001, that 7 Republicans, actually 7 Americans, voted to not fund the Department of Homeland Security. And why, you may ask? Because ICE is in it. 7 Republicans. So let's slow this down, because I think this is where a lot of us just tune out if it sounds like insider nonsense, because it is insider nonsense. But let's hold on. Let's grasp. Congress had 6 funding bills packaged together. 5 of them non-controversial. The 6th was Homeland Security. Okay. Democrats said they would pass the 5 if Republicans caved on DHS. Now, that's negotiating. With the minority vote, this dude is demanding that. Republicans said no. Democrats blocked it anyway. And why? Because 7 Republicans crossed over and helped kill it. Now, everyone is shocked. No one should be. Washington does not run on solutions, and that's becoming apparent. It should. It doesn't. It runs on delays. Here's the real frustration for most Americans. This is a conservative philosophy, but I think most Americans understand fiscal responsibility. But for us conservative voters, I'm talking to the Republican Party too, the Republican Senate. We campaign on fiscal sanity. We do it every time. And then on top of that, we actually campaign, I bet you did too, on border enforcement. We campaign on accountability. Then we get the votes. We have the votes. We start negotiating against ourselves, and we're shocked. And I'm not trying to be mean here, okay? I'm not trying to torch my fellow Republicans. It's the best shot we have to getting to a conservative, or to American, to a constitutional government. It's the best shot we have right now. But this is about reality. I mean, if you run on governing, you eventually have to govern. I know it's a pesky little thing. You got to make choices. You got to make decisions. I get it. You're going to upset some folks. I understand. Trust me, I understand. I get it. But don't just say I'm not going to govern. Say I just want the majority. It's a better office. Like, you got a better view. You know what I'm saying? Like my letterhead kind of gets open. Like my letters get open quicker. I get it. Just lay it out there. But just don't tell us you want to govern. Just say I want to be in the majority so I can vote like a Democrat. Just say that. Just say, I can understand that. I don't like it, but I can accept that. Hey, I know I know these 7 are Republican, but they really just want to vote Democrat. Are we cool? I mean, how do their constituents feel? I don't know. We'll see. But the American people are sitting there. I mean, all of us are thinking to ourselves, why does this feel like the same movie every time? Every time. Because it is. A continuing resolution is not courage. It's a pause button. Man, you would be fired if this was the private sector. Every CR, continuing resolution, every CR quietly looks in last year's spending levels, last year's priorities, last year's bloats. It protects the system while pretending to avoid damage. That's what we're seeing. And that's the part that conservatives are tired of. You don't have to burn the house down to change direction, but you do actually have to pick a direction. And right now, Washington is stuck in neutral, and neutral still burns gas, whether these lefties like that or not. You're hurting the environment, figuratively speaking. All right, guys, stick around. We will be right back. Man, this hour's flying by. We're going to change the topic, though. You might like this one, too. All right, guys, stick around. Hey, what's up? Rumble, YouTube, X, and all the streaming, Facebook, all the streaming folks. We appreciate you guys. Look, I'm reading off a TikTok here. Oh, I just had it up. Sorry, bud. Let's see. Murphy the Mutt says they have been funded for the next years in the big, beautiful bill. Talking about Department of Homeland Security, I would imagine. Let's see here. Yep. So, yeah, I got it. And I was wondering that, too. I had a question on that, too, because there was a bill passed, big, beautiful bill. And at minimum, it covers at least a year. I don't know how long the bill covers the funding for. And if it doesn't account for it, and we have to figure this out now, that's kind of odd. And the whole way we look at the budget, like spending limits to shutdowns to all the little games we see every year. Now it's multiple times a year. it's never what it sounds. There's always and there's rarely anything. You notice there's rarely anything concrete. Y'all ever notice that? Y'all ever notice that? I do. So, yeah, Joe Biden's lost memory too. Oh, you must have a new username. Same movie, different directors. Talking about the shutdown, man. You ain't kidding. Same movie, different directors, man. That's well said. Got about 2 minutes left in this break, guys, and we're going to go hot and heavy. We certainly appreciate you. Certainly appreciate you. Remember our streaming guys on commercial breaks when I lean back, roll down the street like this? Thank you. I was about to do that. Oh, my gosh. I'm going to get some more water. You want some? I just, what you probably need to do for Mr. Bobby is just talk to him and say, hey, the S word gets us in trouble. We got to pay a fine, and you have to wait a little bit. That's just it's a rule. Yeah, that's a good idea. I got time for water? Minute 23. Welcome back to the Josh Guillory Show, broadcasting live from the KPEL studios here in Lafayette, Louisiana. We're also broadcasting live on rumble.com. Let me see you over there at rumble.com. Look up the Josh Guillory Show and give us a little follow if you can. It's free all day, all night. The whole night. 24/7 is free. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Who are we going to? Eddie! What's up, Eddie?
Oh, what's up? All right, yeah, last topic. All right, everybody calling Trump Hitler. He wants to run the country. Well, these 7 Republicans, I just heard about it, man. Thank you for telling me.
No
well, I think Trump ought to go that route. Because the man wants the America to do right.
Yeah.
Well, take Washington and shut that place down. I mean, shut it down. Good, bad, ugly, I don't care. Shut it down. And let him do what he got to do for this country. Because you're going to defund the people that's trying to take care of this country. That shows you how much Democrats care about us.
And those 7
And I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah.
It's time for them to do something.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm with Eddie. I'm with Eddie. Hey, thanks, Eddie. And look, I'll tell you what. I'm not saying this is the solution, but there's some truth to what Eddie said. Because if Washington, like I said, just make a fake Congress. Well, it's 2026. Y'all know how much technology we have. Give them all fake phones. Give them all fake everything. They live like a little bubble. And you still bring the lobbyists in, so they think it's real. You know what I'm saying? And you still bus in a few folks that oh, this constituent has a crawfish idea. Okay, cool. Bring them in. And it's but they're not really in session. And if you shut down Washington and you just let Trump do executive orders for about 20 days, okay? And then you review each one. Oh, you went a little too far on that one. We're striking that one down. Hey, yeah, you had the authority to do that. Turns out you can do it because they didn't do anything. But I'm just saying, not saying it's the solution, just saying that there's probably a lot more reality that came from Eddie's comment than maybe we first knew. So thank you, Eddie. Always bring me something to think about. This dude does too. Let's go, Sean. What you got, baby? Bring the heat.
Hey, well, as soon as the Democrats get back in power, they're going to kill the filibuster. So let's go scorched earth. Let's do it now. We pass as much as we can, and we just pray for the future. And the whole thing with funding DHS, it was my understanding that the big, beautiful bill funded it through 2029. So maybe they don't even know what they're voting on, that this has been resolved. Maybe this was a sleight of hand where the Republicans are like, yeah, we'll give you that. It's already funded, you dummies.
Well, unless they strip it in a way that supersedes it, maybe. I just don't see Schumer and them not knowing that. Especially, I mean, they've been around just past the dinosaurs. So, they definitely, they definitely probably understand how to get with. But look, let's take that aside because I had a guy on TikTok that said the same thing you said. I had that question because, Sean, you always bring the heat. I appreciate you, brother. So like 3 years funding, that was my question. Where was that? But I would imagine that if not the Senate Democrats, don't worry, these 7 Republicans will make sure that it's killed, I'm sure. But here's the thing. Me and Quentin are like high-fiving you from the filibuster thing because you're right. It's going to happen. So why not do it now? I don't think we could get a majority vote. I mean, you just lost 7. You have 7 Republicans that say they'd rather not fund DHS. Now, whether that's true with the conflict and laws of funding, but there's also an argument that the last legislative intent could prevail. Or legislative action on the issue. I just don't see the Senate Democrats missing that opportunity to make sure the funding is not there. But you never know. All right, who are we going to? Paul, what's up, Paul? Bring the heat, baby.
Yeah,
All right. Well, we missed Paul. Oh, well. All right, guys. Hey, look, I had so much else to say, so we got about a minute and a half left, but someone mentioned, I think it was Eddie, the Nazi rhetoric or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And this one, we don't have enough time to cover it, but my goodness, there is a guy out there. I mean, it's loud, it's viral. The Philadelphia District Attorney. I want y'all to Google this if you really want to see something. The Philadelphia DA stood in front of activists, okay, and promised to, quote, hunt down ICE agents. He called them Nazis. It goes back to what I mean, racist, Nazi, whatever. Which, go look at what the Nazis did and go look at what the party of slavery is still trying to do. But the DA said accountability would come now, later, and after Trump leaves office. What he really said was, I'm going to wait till he's gone and I'm getting all you guys. And it's not a metaphor going wrong. I was hoping it would be. I mean, in that little crowd, like, go Google it. All of that looked like more of a threat wrapped in applause more than the other one, And not some, this is the district attorney, an elected prosecutor, by the way. This is what I'm saying. This is a great segment. If it were a Republican, if it were a Republican district attorney telling a bunch of protesters, I'm going to go get somebody, what would happen? Letitia James runs for New York Attorney General and going to target an American. She's going to go get him. The Philadelphia DA is going to go get the ICE agents. Where is the blinded justice? That is so wrong. But anyway, we could talk about that on and on. Hey, guys, thank y'all so much. I love this dialogue. I appreciate every single one of you. Be careful out there. May God bless you and be kind.